Welcome to part 3 in the series of a deep dive into stereotypes concerning Black people in the United States. Today, we will be looking at murders. Let's get right into it. I chose to look at murders over a 10-year period from 2010 until 2019. The information was gathered primarily from the FBI statistics. Between 2010 and 2019, there were 156,111 murders in total, which works out to be about 15,611 murders on average per year. I often hear Black people are 14% of the United States population but commit over 50% of the murders. This statement is incorrect because about 40 to 45% of murders which occur in the United States each year goes unsolved. So they have no idea what percentage of total murders is committed by what race. What they can look at is the percentage of murders where information is known about the offender, such as race, gender, or age. Luckily, the FBI provides this data through its annual Uniform Crime Report. So, what are the facts? Between 2010 and 2019, there were 62,722 murders that the FBI provided data for as to the race of the offenders. This was for a single offender slash single victim, which makes up the largest percentage of murders. As a matter of fact, single offender, single victim make up about 76.8% of known murders for the 10-year period. Black people were 53.4% of the offenders, while white people made up 43.68% of the offenders. But to analyze the data, you have to look deeper. Black people were 53.4% of the offenders, but also 52.05% of the victims, while white people were 43.68% of the offenders and 44.88% of the victims. Does that seem connected? Well, it should, and here's why. When they say black people commit over 50% of the murders, what they really mean is over 50% of the black murders, not of any other race. And this makes perfect sense. The majority of black people are around black people, so the black offenders will murder mostly black people, while the majority of white people are around white people, so the white offender will murder mostly white people. This point is aided by the fact that in a lot of murder cases, the offenders are known by the victim. Example, in 2019, 28.3% of victims was killed by someone they knew, while 13% were killed by family members. Only 9.9% were killed by strangers. Now let's look at the two largest groups of murder offenders and victims, black and white people. Let's break it down further. Between 2010 and 2019, there were 32,500 white people's deaths that some of the information is known about the offender. 26,578 or 82% of the murders were committed by, you guessed it, white people. Only 4,870 or 15% of white murders were committed by black people. Based on the data, white people killed on average 2,658 white people per year, which works out to about 7 people per day. If we do the same calculation for black people killing white people, it works out to be about 1 per day. So white people killing white people was 7 times blacks killing whites. Now let's look at black people for the same period. There were 27,340 black victims for which the offender was known. 24,519 or 90% was committed by black people. Only 8% were committed by white people. The calculation shows that about 7 black people per day were killed by black people, while 2,196 or 8% were killed by white people. That averaged less than 1 per day. So the truth is, based on the FBI statistics, between 2010 and 2019, if you are white, you are more likely to be taken out by a white person, and if you are black, you are more likely to be taken out by a black person. Now, for the million-dollar question, is the stereotype true? It's a complicated question to answer. I would say the answer is both yes and no. While the data did show that black people committed, on average, 53% of the murders between 2010 and 2019, that is not cut and dry. 53% of which murders? When you hear them spewing out the over 50% statistics, you have to put that into context. It's over 50% of black murders. Most of these people do not care about black lives, they care about their lives. If white people are concerned about the odds of being taken out by a race, they need not look further than their own neighborhoods, because 82% of all white deaths from 2010 until 2019, for which the offender race is known, was committed by a white person, with about a 40% chance that they knew the offender, while about 15% were killed by black people. So, on this premise, the stereotype is false because each race is responsible for the deaths of people in that race far more than people outside the race. On another premise, the stereotype is true. Black people commit disproportionately more murders of black people than white people commit of white people, given our respective population. The question is, why? I think there are multiple factors, but the black communities need to find the answer and the corrective measures. The truth is, most of these people who quote the 14% of the population and over 50% of the murder statistics have no idea how these statistics are broken down or how to put them into context, like I just did. I do not excuse the black communities because the statistics is what the statistics is. Every time the murder rate for black offenders is over 50%, remember that is mostly black lives. You need to fix that within your communities because, despite what most might say, they don't care about black lives the way you should care about black lives. And there you have it, folks. I hope you found this video very informative. If you did find it informative, please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And stay tuned as we continue this series into stereotypes concerning Black people in the United States.